What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolve video. Alright soldiers, so we're going to be moving on into the Swordcraft for Idol Master Cinderella Girls EX set. Now I do believe that this is the craft that got the most legendaries out of the EX set, just because all the cool followers were sword. So you're going to be playing a little lower to the ground, which is what cool wants to do, so Swordcraft is going to provide a lot of those cards. Alright, so without wasting any time, let's go ahead and look at our first cards. We have Rin Shibuya Cinderella Girl. She's a 2-cost 2/1. She has Storm. When she comes into play, Fanfare lesson 2, you can select them you follow in the field and deal it X damage. X equals the number of cool followers on your field. So of course, like I said, most of the cool followers are going to be sword and they're going to have Storm, so that's already going to be the big thing, that cool is going to be playing very aggressively. Now on top of that, if you do have the Fanfare for lesson 2, whatever amount of cool followers that you're going to have on the field for the cool deck, you're probably going to have like 3, like 4 sometimes, even a max of 5 if those followers do get to survive. You get to do a total of 5 damage to a follower on field. Alright, then next up, looking at Mio Honda Cinderella Girl. So she's a 2-cost 2/2, you can evolve her for 1, but when she comes to play Fanfare, you can use lesson 1 to draw a card and then discard a card. Alright, so I'm pretty sure the Passion deck didn't care about how many cards were in your cemetery, but being able to filter out all the cards that you're not going to be using is going to be very helpful, just because we do need to get into those bigger cards faster, and there's no way to go ahead and search a card from our deck. We're going to be drawing it raw, so being able to just filter through is good. Alright, and then next we have Mio Honda Cinderella Girl Evolve. So she turns to a 3/3, but on Evolve you like the top 2 cards of your deck. You may reveal an Idol Master Cinderella Girl card from among them and add it to your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. And then on Super Evolve you may summon a 6-cost or less Passion follower from your hand. Alright, so not sure if you paid attention to the last video that we did with the Forest Craft, but it did search for a cool card last time. Now this is just searching for Idol Master Cinderella Girl, so it's not looking for the archetype. So this is going to be very good in terms of just like the neutral things in case you're not going to be running Passion. This is going to be pretty good on tempo. And then on top of that, if you're going to be running this in the Passion deck, you're going to want to Super Evolve this follower into a 4/4 to allow it to summon a 6-cost or less Passion follower from your hand, so you can start doing the Passion deck thing. Alright, next up we have Uzuki Shimura Cinderella Girl with a Wall of Text. So she's a 6-cost 4/4. When she comes to play Fanfare, you search your deck for an Idol Master Cinderella Girl card not named Uzuki Shimura Cinderella Girl, put it into your EX area, then shuffle. And if there are at least 5 cute cards in your cemetery, you can search for 2 cards not named Uzuki Shimura Cinderella Girl instead. You can also activate for lesson 1 to select the Idol Master Cinderella Girl card in your EX area and give it, when playing this card, this costs 5 less to play. You can activate only once per turn. Alright, so I do remember I was not a believer in cute because the deck, all it did was just kind of like stall and heal and didn't really have any crazy like late game like bombs or stoppers. But now with cute, I might actually give it a little bit of respect, because we're playing a 6-cost card that's going to let us look for 2 cards from our deck and then putting them into our EX area, especially if we have 5 cute cards, which, come on, if we're playing the cute deck, we're gonna have at least 5 cute cards by the turn, so like turn 6 when we do play this card. So getting 2 cards and then putting them into the EX area, and then of course throughout the game we're going to be using our lesson and then using another lesson to make one of those cards cost free, or at least make them a little cheaper. If you're going to be playing this on turn 7, it's going to be pretty cool. Alright, next up we have Karin Hojo Cinderella Girl. She's a 1-cost 1/1. When she comes to play Fanfare, you look for the top card of your deck. If it's a cool card, you may reveal it and add it to your hand, and then last words, you put a magical item token into your EX area. Alright, so I'm liking the one thing about the EX set is that we're actually able to get magical items back, because there are situations where we do use up a whole bunch of magical items, and the neutral cards from the last time that we had Cinderella Girls that get you magical items back are a little too expensive and not usable, so throwing them into the engine and making them very like possible to be able to get magical items back is very good. And then on top of that, what I really do like is that we do have a 1-cost 1/1 that allows us to look at the top card. If we're going to be playing the cool deck, there's going to be a lot of cool followers in our deck, so being able to add 1 card to our hand and then, you know, keep progressive with playing aggressively. Alrighty, next up we have Irie Totoki Cinderella Girl. So she's a 2-cost 2/2. You can evolve her for 1, but when she comes to play Fanfare with 1 play point and then lesson 1, you can discard a Passion card and then you can select an enemy falling on the field and deal it 3 damage. Alright, so it seems a little expensive, but I guess for 3 play points you do get a 2/2 follower that allows you to discard a Passion card and deal it 3 damage, but we do get to evolve this card too. Alright, so looking at Irie Totoki Cinderella Girl Evolve, so she turns to a 3/3, but on Evolve you select the enemy fall on the field and deal it 2 damage. If there are at least 5 Passion cards in your cemetery, you can put a magical item token into your EX area. Alright, so if you're matching your opponent's freak in the early game, you do want to control, especially with passion, so being able to spend the extra 1 play point to deal 3 damage to a follower. This might hit the 5 passion cards in your cemetery to go ahead and put a magical item token back, so you can go ahead and replace the 1 play point that you did just use for using the lesson 1. But then on top of that, you can evolve this, deal 2 damage, and then swing into another follower. Alrighty, next we have Mayu Sakuma, Love, Laud, and Gift. So she's a 3-cost 3/3. You can evolve for 1, but when she comes to play Fanfare, each player draws a card. Alright, so in all of my time of playing cards or reading cards abilities, whenever I had my opponent draw a card, it would really have to affect whatever my game plan was going to be. So hopefully the evolve is going to really matter when it comes to in terms of your opponent drawing a card here. Alright, so looking at Mayu Sakuma evolve, so she turns to a 4/4, but on evolve you select the enemy follow in the field and deal it X damage. X equals the number of cards in its owner's hand. Alright, so making sure your opponent draws a card, which does kind of hurt because you're helping your opponent dig through their deck a little deeper, but you're able to get that 1 extra card into their hand so they can potentially have a total of 5 cards in hand to do a total of 5 to a follower. Alright, but next we have Chieri Ogata, Happiness Tune. So she's a 2-cost 2/2, and you can evolve for 1, but when she comes into play Fanfare, if this was put onto the field from anywhere other than the hand, you can evolve this. Alright, so I know there's going to be a little bit of a strategy of putting a 2-cost card from your hand into the EX area and then you're playing it from the EX area for free, or you can get it from the deck and then play it from your deck for free, because I know Idol Master does that too. So being able to get that Fanfare up to evolve this for free is pretty good. Alright, so looking at Chieri Ogata evolve, so she turns into a 3/3, but on evolve you search your deck for Idol Master Cinderella Girl spell, reveal it and add it to your hand, and then shuffle. You can also activate for 1 play point and 1 lesson, and then the next 2 cost or less Idol Master spell you play this turn costs 2 less to play. You can activate only if there are at least 5 cue cards in your cemetery. I'm pretty sure this is a card that gets out the Angelic Maid, and you can use the Angelic Maid for free. That allows you to heal a whole bunch and then give a stat buff to a follower while allowing you to draw a card. So this is pretty good. Alright, so next up we have Nagi Hisawaka Everyday Fairy Tale. So she's a 1-cost 2/2. When she comes in with Fanfare, if there are at least 5 Idol Master cards in your cemetery, you can search your deck for a Sparkling Days, put it into your EX area, and then shuffle. It costs 1 less to play this turn. You can also activate for 2 play points to engage this card and then bury this. You can search your deck for a follower with Nagi Hisawaka in its name and summon it. Activate only if there are at least 10 Idol Master cards in your cemetery. Alright, so a 1-cost card that gets the Sparkling Days card and puts it into your EX area. I can't remember off the top of my mind what it does use, but being able to get the 1-cost card in your EX area and then playing it for free, which is actually pretty good. Then on top of that, for a total of 3 play points, we can go ahead and engage this and we can get the Nagi Hisawaka 4-cost, which allows us to banish at least, 2 1-cost cards from our cemetery, which, look at this is a 1-cost card that's going to be in the cemetery when this does happen. So being able to use at least one of the effects for the Nagi Hisawaka is going to be very good. Alrighty, next up we have Miho Koinada, Youthful Romance. So she's a 4-cost 4/4. She has Ward, but when she comes into play Fanfare, you can discard 2 cute cards to give your leader +2 defense, draw 2 cards, and you can activate for lesson 1, select up to 2 enemy follows on the field and deal them 2 damage. If there are at least 5 cute cards in your cemetery, you can deal 3 damage instead. Alright, so for our opponents that are going to be playing pretty low to the ground, so being able to deal 3 damage to 2 followers can help very nicely, especially while we have a ward that allows us to discard 2 and draw 2, so we can definitely hit that 5 in cemetery when we do go for this. Alrighty, and last but not least, we have Dancing in the Rain. So it's a 1-cost amulet, so when it comes to place Fanfare, you can search your deck for a follower with Now Kamaya in its name, reveal it and add it to your hand, and then shuffle. You can also activate to engage just to bury this, and you can select a cool follower in the field and give a rush and a sail. Alright, so for any of you soldiers who don't remember what Now Kamaya is, she's the 2-cost 2/3 that allows us, if we have 3 Idol Master cards on their field, we're able to deal 2 damage to a follower, which is pretty cool. But on top of that, being able to give that follower rush and a sail is going to be very important, because we're not going to be using that many spells that allows us to do damage to followers. We're going to be matching with followers, so being able to give another cool follower rush and a sail is very important. Alright, and then moving on, we have our SPs for this set. So if we have any collectors that are looking to get these signatures or any of these high-priced cards, I hope you're able to get them. Alright, and then we have the regular use for the gamers who actually want to use the text box for the actual cards in battles. Or if you're actually, that pricey and that cool, you can use the collector cards too. You have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. But I know the U's are usually more acquirable for putting them and sleeving them in decks and then like shuffling, because they probably aren't as high rarity as the SPs, but of course the U cards still look just as beautiful. And alrighty, soldiers, that was all of the cards for Swordcraft for Idolmaster Cinderella Girls EX set. I'm looking forward to the set this Friday. I won't be picking up any of the cards, don't get me wrong, but I am excited to see what these decks are going to be doing for this next upcoming set. I heard streets are saying that it's not going to really make much of a big deal with all the cards that come out in BP16, but don't worry. We'll talk about all the decks and everything this upcoming weekend because I'm very excited to talk about BP16. But alright, soldiers, make sure you are safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah. TRINN. Just to get